Let's talk to Shane in Pennsylvania. Shane, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Yeah, I just wanted to make a point about what you were saying earlier about how they're trying to force this debate now between liberty and security. And
when you give up liberty, you get tyranny. You never get the security. The insecurity is letting them do this.
Exactly. And, you know, it's kind of an uphill battle because, you know, the general public has just been conditioned to accept this. I mean, you turn on The Dark Knight, and their heroes are using sonar and stuff like that to catch the bad guy.
Well, they're using the wireless system on the phone to broadcast and look through walls and pick up the thing, which is what the Kinect and the smart meter does. Exactly. Everything is conditioning.
Right. And, you know, the villain in Skyfall is just, you know, some hacker computer guy, and it's all over the place.
And the government's outgunned and doesn't even know how to open their email. The poor babies. The poor babies. Anything else you want to add? It's a great point, Shane. You want to come back and add some more?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Alex.
God bless you. Great points.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the InfoWars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones Radio Show live as it happens.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.
We got some good news I haven't gotten to yet, but I'll get to this after Schaefer leaves us. Justices at the Supreme Court rule human genes cannot be patented, and that gives you some hope for sanity, and I've scanned over part of the ruling. I don't really see any loopholes in there. I mean, obviously, they go and they get blood samples and stuff. They even patent your particular genes, but also the gene for cancer of a particular type, and then try to block you from testing it. Monsanto has said you can't test those honeybees' guts, you know, for our Roundup pesticide because we have that patented. And we have the gene mutation for the BT corn patented. So we'll sue you if you try to test for our poison. And courts have ruled for them. That's asinine. You know, like if they could patent cyanide, and you can't test for cyanide at the autopsy because we have that patented. You're not selling it, so you should be able to test for it. And it's just outrageous. It is outrageous. And this is some good news. This is some sanity. There's a fight between good and evil going on right now, folks. Let's talk to John in New York, first-time caller. Thanks for holding, John. Good to talk to you. How may I serve you today?
Alex, you're doing great work. I enjoy listening to you. I don't agree with everything you say, but then again, if I did, I wouldn't be thinking for myself. But I do credit you with opening my eyes to a lot of issues.
Sure, thank you.
You know, there's a lot of talk lately about this surveillance grid that's been created, and I really think that they've been moving not just through surveillance, but I think they've even stepped it up a little bit to interference, specifically with what you're doing. I use an application on my iPhone to listen to your program over the internet when I'm driving in my car and whatnot. And when I'm home listening to your program using this one particular application, if I'm listening to it on my Wi-Fi, it works just fine. But as soon as I leave my house and go out into AT&T's coverage with their 4G, using the same program, it gets scrambled and I lose my connection and I can't listen. So I've tested this in a few ways where I listen to other radio stations or other radio programs. I'll be listening to it on my Wi-Fi. I'll drive out of range. It will stay on. It will reshuffle itself and buffer and go to either another server or it will keep playing. But whenever I try to listen to InfoWars Radio using this particular program over the AT&T network, I'm unable to.
Well, you know, that could just be that we need to upgrade those free apps. We need people to make free apps for us. I mean, we have limited resources. We're trying to develop some new apps right now.
I'm not sure, Alex, seriously, because it works just fine when I'm within my own network, but as soon as I leave to go into AT&T's 4G network, it gets redirected to other servers.
No, what I'm saying is it may not be meshing with that system well, or who knows, they may be trying to block it. ProPure is introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. This is the Pro One by ProPure. You wanted it, you got it. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It cuts out the acid derivative of fluoride. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. This is a revolution against the tyrants. They love putting the toxic acid base of fluoride into your water. They love the fact that it's an adjuvant supercharging the trace Prozac in the water and the hormones and the other chemicals. By cutting out fluoride, you cut out the turbocharger in all the poison being artificially introduced into your body. This is what I use. It's a win-win. You get a high-quality product at the lowest price. You support the InfoWar. Get your ProPure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now into hour number 2. Joining us in the next segment is Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer, be able to break down his take on the whole NSA situation as well as his new book. Then General Hamid Gul, the former head of the Mujahideen against the Russians, can really give us an inside look at what's happening with the globalists funding al-Qaeda worldwide and what's happening currently in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And Mohammed Karzai coming out a few months ago and saying the West is actually running al-Qaeda. Of course, that's always been known, but not generally by the public, who, due to globalist propaganda, cannot even find their own state on a map, some cases, much less the planet. They don't know what a globe is. I'm not even being sarcastic. IQs are dropping very quickly under the chemical warfare operations of the globalist. Jason in Missouri, you're on the air. Thanks for holding. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Alex. First-time caller. I'm a victim of Katrina. It took me at least a week for the Army to show up during that time. I don't watch any reality TV because I think the Kardashians, who cares? I thought the Kardashians were some alien creature from Star Trek.
No, they force-feed you the culture they want you to think is the norm. And people just grow up believing the TV loves them and it's going to help them.
Yeah, and the point I wanted to make, sir, and I didn't want to take a lot of your time, I'm really upset about this Fourth Amendment with Obama just walking all over it,
But I thought it was a conspiracy that they were spying on us without warrants. I mean, they care about us.
Sir, this is, I could not believe this. It's ridiculous. I mean, he should be impeached, he should be arrested, and he should be prosecuted. It's crazy.
But here's why he won't be, because this is a long-term program before Obama that is the military-industrial complex basically swallowing the internet. This NSA rollout in cybersecurity is the takeover of the internet, the ending of the free web, and is basically beyond what the communist Chinese have done.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. I wanted to thank you again, and I hope I get to call again sometime.
God bless you, sir. I appreciate your call. But yes, they should all be prosecuted, and Obama is pushing it. And they're pushing a lot of web-type initiatives that really kill freedom on the internet. But I just had that reawakening that we've been talking about this so long that I tend to lay out the agenda and then not go back and explain it to new listeners. The globalists are getting rid of the free internet as we know it. They are forcing all networks over their systems to control content, not just to surveil it. This has all been announced. And there are domestic CIA spying operations and psyops against the public. That's all admitted. And fake news and on and on and on. The globalists are multinational. They're waging war against everybody. D in Alabama. Go ahead. You're on the air.
I had a few points I wanted to make. One is, I think that anybody that subscribes to, supports National Public Radio, any of the print media that did not make any mention at all or have not made any mention at all of Bilderberg, the people that have, subscribed to them need to cancel their subscriptions, write to the news media or to the network and tell them that they have totally lost credibility and you will not financially support an organization that is hiding and being complicit with these criminals, these international criminals. So that's the one point I wanted to make. Another point is that anybody that's in the military that is out here helping them with their chemtrailing and their anti-life agenda that has any inkling that they are a part of a compartmentalized process that is leading to the destruction.
I tell you what, I got Colonel Schaefer coming up, but if you want to hold, I'll come back to you because you're on fire. Our viewers have demanded it, so now you're gonna get it. More pro-Second Amendment gun shows in the month of June.
What we've learned is you cannot hide behind an I-beam when there's a 50 cal present.
Brothers in Arms, 50 cal ammo review, and more. Coming in the month of June to the InfoWar. You're a new listener out there, and this show sounds shocking. You're just not looking into what we're saying. I mean, I may come off like a bull in a china cabinet sometimes, but it's because I'm upset. Again, I went on that BBC interview last Sunday, and I mean, they're making jokes about fluoride in the water, and I'm like, hey, man, cancer rates exploding aren't funny. You want to know why I blew up? They were making fun of me in a promo video coming in, and it's not that I care about being made fun of. I care about all the people they're killing. It's not funny. I mean, I take that personal, that they're hurting all these innocent people, and people are like, oh, well, thank you for caring, Alex. Caring. I mean, they're killing us on purpose. The White House science czar writes books about it, eco-science, bragging. Where are the grand juries? Where are the indictments? But it's so over the top. Like Vice Magazine writes this big comedy piece going, fluoride, fluoride. All he talks about is fluoride, and he won't explain why it's bad. Harvard studies, brain tumors, cancer, pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, bone cancer, 20-point IQ reductions. It ain't funny. But you say it's funny. And I physically get angry and have hateful thoughts. I just, I don't think that's funny. If I saw somebody at a McDonald's putting poison in somebody's drink, I'd probably break their nose. And people are like, oh, that's so... I just don't get it. I don't get laying here while we're robbed and assaulted and putting up with all this, and I'm mad. I'm not in a trance. And I realize more and more that is important. For all my failures, folks, getting angry, getting people out of their normalcy bias is the secret. And we've got to do it. D in Alabama, thanks for holding. I wanted to go back to you, and then we'll get to Fred and Jamie and Walter and John. We'll get to all of you. But go ahead, D, you're on the air.
Yeah, Alex, what I was saying was that anybody that's in the military that has any inkling that they are participating in the geoengineering, the chemtrailing, like you had that young lady that was on there that was in the military for 9 years in the Air Force, from Tinker Air Force Base. If you have any thought that what you're doing is killing life here, you need to go and retire. It's not worth the money. You're killing your mother, your father, your kids.
Yeah, for those those that don't know, tons a week of barium salts, aluminum dioxide, and radioactive isotopes were delivered to be added to the jet fuel to then be aerosolized and sprayed out. I mean, tons a week. Go ahead.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you're not going to when crimes against life are brought in. Ultimately, you're not going to be able to hide behind the cover and say, "I was just a soldier doing my job." That's what the Nazis claimed. It's not going to fly. But if you get out now and you know when the indictments are brought in, you say, "Yeah, I finally figured it out, and I knew what was going on, and I decided the best thing for me to do was just to, to leave. Take my retirement, take my pension. You don't have to be a whistleblower, because if enough people leave, they won't be able to maintain this system of death and doing
I agree. I think everybody should just start whistleblowing everywhere, whether it's anonymous, not anonymous. There's plenty of ways to mail envelopes. There's plenty of ways to get stuff, go on YouTube, whatever. Crimes are being committed. If everybody just starts standing up, not just government, but if everybody starts blowing the whistle, if a citizen sees corruption that doesn't blow the whistle, it's on them. We've all got to stand up against evil everywhere, and it's a process. We will turn the tide. If not, it's going to totally take over. Well said, D.
Say something, okay? You see something, like they want you to spy on your neighbor. When you see them doing it, then say something.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Right now, Walter in Michigan, thanks for holding. You're on the air, sir.
Hello, Mr. Jones. It's a pleasure to speak to you, sir.
Pleasure to talk to you, my friend.
Hey, I'm going to take this in a little bit different direction. I don't go to many movies because, in my opinion, most of them are junk, and TV tends to be even worse for the most part. But I must commend you on your critique of Oblivion. For those of us who are awake, absolutely right on.
It's all about compartmentalization. It's all about becoming human. Even if you're just a program machine, it's amazing.
It was great. I actually walked out of there floating on a cloud of hope, after watching it. And I was at a show earlier in the month, and like I said, I don't go to too many. But there was an old trailer from a movie, I don't know if you heard of it, called Django. And when I saw this trailer, it absolutely made me physically ill.
Well, it's meant to create racial division, and I've studied history.
Exactly.
I actually watched it. I actually watched it to critique it, and it was so disgusting I couldn't even critique it. Number one, it's not historically accurate, and it's torture porn, and it's race war porn, and it's the globalists are desperate to play us off against each other.
Right, and all it was meant to be was psychological warfare designed to create civil unrest, and it was nothing but that. And I would not suggest anybody to go see that. Just, you know what, Alex, if there was any African Americans in the theater at the time, and there wasn't, I noticed why the trailer was playing, I would have got up and left. That's how ashamed.
No, I tell you, it's all done. Why don't they do a movie about the UN kidnapping little kids and torturing them? Why don't they do a movie? Oh, no. They want to go back 170 years and then misrepresent everything and then project it out. But, why don't they make a movie about them killing 52% of blacks before they're born? Oh, no. Let's just get everybody fighting with each other now and then attach an agenda, a big government, to prove, I mean, here's an article right here. More whites now dying, Bangor Daily News, than births. And I saw people in the comments on another article about this going, good, whites are the evil. These were white people. We all need to intermarry to get rid of the evil whites. It's just evil people. I mean, you have African tribes that kill each other because one lives on one side of the river and the other doesn't, or one worships this god and the other worships that god. It's all bull. The globalists just use something to divert and distract people, and it is a religion. Whites hating themselves is a religion, and then doing whatever government says as the referee to prove that they think they're scum. Good points, Walter. Jamie in Michigan, another call from Michigan. You're on the air.
Oh, hey, Alex. It's good to finally get a hold of you.
You got about a minute, brother.
Okay, well, I had a couple quick points I wanted to make. One is just about civil disobedience. I had to report for jury selection today. And I walk into the courthouse, and right on the courthouse there's this plaque on there. It's like upon entry, you have to empty your pockets. And I walk through, I set off the alarm, and they're like, you need to step back and empty your pockets. And I'm like, no. You ordered me here, you'll hold me, I was like, you ordered me here? And so, well, if you don't do it, you'll be held in contempt to leave. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. You can't order me here and then have to force me to waive my Fourth Amendment. That's ridiculous. And so then a cop walks up to me, and he's just, got his hands hitched on his belt, just walking up there bolstering to me. And they just, we just kept going back and forth, and finally I just walked out. And it's just like, they sort of try to tell me you have to comply with this plaque on their building. And I'm like, well, don't you have to
the point is America never had
this.
this before. Why do we have it now? And now they're starting, absolutely. We're going to come right back with our guest. Stay with us.
Now you can watch the InfoWars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.
I got a bunch of news I haven't gotten to, so I'm going to overdrive. I'm going to go to calls right now and come back, go to more calls, then into the news. Things like this. Bank robbery suspect wants NSA surveillance records for defense. Now that all the sheeple are learning this is going on, people are going to say, hey, you have records that I was on the phone when that robbery went on. So then everybody's going to want to start dialing into this, kind of like a public Google, into the whole public's activity. And this is just amazing. Spachinik thinks it's all a big psyop, and he says he knows General Alexander. I got to be honest, though, Pachinik says some really inflammatory things on air, and I know he listens. He's a very interesting guy, and I just think about, what is he going to say once he gets on air? But I'm thinking about getting him on to talk about this because he is a very interesting source, and he went into North Korea during the whole Korean crisis thing. He's just a real character. So we've got some of that news, and I just had Hamid Gul on, which, again, I think he was overdriving on his iPhone via Skype, but most of it you could hear pretty good. It's just such important information. And I really can't find anything he's saying that, isn't true when it comes to military stuff. Here's the deal. The West is stirring up and funding radical Islamicists, so they have an excuse to invade and take over the countries, to not even put good governments in, but to put worse ones in to keep the cycle going. It is hyper immoral. And they go, well, war isn't moral. We're doing this to dominate. The people doing it don't want us to have families. The globalists that have conquered us are the worst bunch in the world, is my point. I don't want to be under these Islamic regimes. I don't want to be under, some type of, totalitarian Christian government. I don't want to be under, I want to be under the Constitution. I want to be under due process and freedom. And, man, right now we're a conquered state of the globalist. They've got the federal government. They got most of the states. They're taking over. They're trying to shut off the free internet. That's what this NSA building all these giant bases are about, is about the new internet. That's the new conduit. The Google is part of the NSA. And I don't like being conquered. And they've come in with the corporate system so that it isn't a foreign army, because they know people always resist that. And by resisting it, not serving you food, not being your friend, not paying the taxes, militarily resisting you. There's many ways to resist, so they know to come in with Hollywood stars and glitz, and it's a psychological takeover. And I want the New World Order out of my life. I mean, much of the public is just caught in complete thrall, having no idea how much scientific manipulation they're under. And then you talk to somebody like Hamid Gul, I mean, because I'm informed about this stuff. And I know for some new listeners who may not be informed, that might have been, you know, sounded like Martian to you, especially with the bad connection or the jumbled connection, what he was saying when I'm listening to it, and it's just all right on. I mean, because it's on record, they created a new Al-Qaeda on top of the old Al-Qaeda and a new Taliban. And then they went and arrested the real Taliban that wasn't really doing anything and flew the new fake Taliban out to safety into Pakistan. That was the airlift of evil. And then you just see full spectrum dominance. For someone that doesn't get this, it's like, what do you mean our government funds the terrorists? They're fighting them. No, they fund them as the reason to be in those countries. They fund them as the reason to have the black hole to spend trillions of dollars on. I mean, it's so elementary. I don't know how the public doesn't get it. Remember the famous case like 18 years ago? It was when I first got on air. I covered it. In New York City, a guy was going around with a ball-peen hammer, breaking 100 windshields a night on average. And the cops finally clicked and went, look at all these ads for windshield dings up everywhere, and staked out and caught the owner in the areas going and bashing the windshields out right under his billboards to then have people go get the windshields fixed. I mean, that's it. That's how it works. That's what it is, okay? It's real simple.
As we saw in Katrina, and as we are watching now in New York and New Jersey, the federal government can't and won't help you in a crisis. FEMA ran out of water and MREs in days. Electricity is still off to over 1 million people. The Red Cross, who is quick to beg for money, is now slow to react. Don't put it off any longer. Get prepared today. While you're on InfoWarsShop.com, check out these other great preparedness items. The Aquapod kit lets you store up to 65 gallons of water in your bathtub. The Pocket Socket provides you with manual electricity for small electronics like your cell phone. The Life Straw is great for your bug-out bag. And check out our complete line of Interfood products for great tasting and nutritionally dense foods that have a great shelf life. If you are looking to secure your home in a crisis, you can order Strategic Relocations, the film, a great companion to the book Strategic Relocations 3rd edition, and The Secure Home by Joel Skousen. When the time to perform arrives, the time to prepare has already passed. Get prepared now, so if a crisis strikes your home, you and your family will be secure. Go to InfoWarsShop.com.
All right, we're in overdrive to take your phone calls. There's a lot of other breaking news as well up on InfoWars.com. Congressman Peter King calls for prosecution of journalists who broke NSA snooping story. The NSA is committing felonies billions of times a day, conservatively. It's on record it's a felony. It's on record they've been caught lying. It's on record they're building a machine many times bigger than it was. It's on record that Alexander has bragged it'll be able to take over the old web, shut down free speech. It is incredible. It is outrageous that all of this is going on. And the article written by Steve Watson breaks all this down. In fact, Steve goes over it. The rep who supported terrorists calls for jailing reporters in America. And that's right, King is on record supporting the IRA. And again, folks, I support Irish freedom and independence. But if you look at the IRA the last 50 years, it was a British intelligence operation to remove the moral high ground away from the Irish people so that they can claim we have to be here because you're bombing London. Almost all of that was staged. Almost all of it. That's now mainline news in England. So King wasn't even really supporting the Irish Republican Army. He was supporting intelligence front groups against the Irish people, from my research. Again, it's more sophisticated than that, ladies and gentlemen. But once you understand the sophistication, it's all completely clear. And it's admitted. It's not just, we're saying this is our view. So it's pretty disgusting. It is pretty darn disgusting to see the persecution of the press. And I'm telling you, this whole Homeland Security thing is for the Tea Party. It's for libertarians. You got Joe Biden in private speeches saying we got to shut down the Tea Party and go after Rand Paul. Because they know Rand Paul is popular, populist, constitutional, and is going to take over the Republican Party. Freedom is sexy politically, and people want it. And a real constitutional vision will bring people together. How about everybody likes to organize into a gang? How about we organize as freedom lovers together and stop worrying about which race or religion or color or sexual preference, all these things. Let's start becoming pro-human, pro-liberty. And anything the globalists are pushing, we know is bad. It's not a conservative or liberal issue, abortion. It's an issue of they push it to lower the population. It is done to dehumanize humanity. I don't want to go on a tirade. I said I'd go to your calls. John in Florida, thanks for holding her on the air. Welcome.
How you doing, Alex? It's great to finally get to talk to you.
Great to have you.
Listen, Alex, you came back from London, and you said we got to take this to a whole new level, and you're right. And Adam Kokesh was talking about a march on D.C. and our march. He was talking about the Second Amendment. But you know what? This thing is so much bigger than all that. We need a march on Washington, D.C., calling for the impeachment of Obama. We need to start right at the top. He's the captain of the ship. He says he doesn't know what the NSA is doing. He says he doesn't know about the IRS and what they're doing. He doesn't know anything. Well, if you're a captain and you don't know anything, then you don't need to be the captain anymore.
Well, listen, here's the issue. I don't think one march will do it, but marching locally, calling into radio, going to city council, talking about issues, resisting, speaking out in the TSA line, spreading the word about this broadcast. We've got 22,167 signatures for an article we put up last week and gave no promotion for the White House to respond to a petition for Obama to resign for illegally violating Article 1, Section 8, and, all the different things that they've done. We put it out July 7th, 2013. We did another one, too, just on the spying. We need to see the numbers on that. And it's due July 7th. It started a few weeks ago, or last week. The point is, guys, print me that and show me the InfoWars article. What I want's the InfoWars article, because what they did is they did 2 petitions, and there's one particular one that I particularly want to promote. But my point is, just print me the InfoWar, or I can pull it up, the InfoWar article, so I can give people the specifics and give them the headline to be able to find it. Go sign the petition so that the White House has to respond. Okay, and again, people say, well, it doesn't matter. It's a non-binding petition. It makes them respond and makes it a media issue. So I agree with you. We need to push. And even if Obama's just a puppet, it scares the other puppets when we hold them accountable. Go ahead.
Absolutely. See, the thing is if Obama feels the heat and if people start calling for him to resign or calling for impeachment or whatever, all the minions under them, too, start worrying and scurrying. And that's what we need to do. And I'll tell you, as a listener, and I've only been a listener for a few months, I have felt a lot of things going on in this country were just wrong. It was all in my gut. And when I started listening to your program, it just came so alive in me. And I tell you what, I gotta read a dose of the Bible every day just to keep my temper down, and just to keep some peace when I
listen. Instead of getting angry, I hear you, brother, and thanks for the call, John. Instead of getting angry, go wake people up. Get aggressive. Every few people you wake up in numbers, that brings them down. Everybody's always looking for one magic solution, one march, one thing that can be done. And that doesn't exist. If the one film was made that hit the zeitgeist and was like an hour long and was seen by 300 million Americans and caused a total shift, kind of like Uncle Tom's Cabin or something against slavery, then maybe. But other than that, there is no silver bullet. There is no silver bullet. It's a lot of little things that lead to the collapse of the globalist. Let's go ahead and talk to Fred in Connecticut. Fred, thanks for holding. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm calling with some Sandy Hook information regarding your upcoming meeting with Dr. Steve Pieczenik.
Yes.
Okay. My sister is a social worker in that town, and she's been working very closely with Jack Pinto's family.
Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about. People call in here like they're calling, you know, like their cousin or something about what happened in the barn. I mean, I don't.
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me explain. Pachenik is going around saying Sandy Hook never happened. What I'm here to tell your audience is that I know for a fact that it did. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm saying that you got to watch out for that guy. I do not trust him. I know for a fact that people are missed in that town and children have died, and I think it's ridiculous that he's going out, you know, promoting George Bush and promoting the fact that he thinks that Sandy Hook never happened.
No, I hear you. I hear you, and I appreciate your call. I'm going to move quick to the other callers. I believe people were killed at Sandy Hook, and I'm on record saying that. And basically, Bloomberg and others are saying that I didn't say that. And I believe people died in the Boston bombing. Okay, I just want to be clear about all that. Let's go ahead and talk. I speak for me, and I hear you, but I'm moving quick to get to everybody. Alan in Georgia, you're on the air. Welcome, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Got a point here, and pray. Just one thing first and foremost is praise God for somebody like Hamid Gul. I would like to, you know, give your audience a little taste of what he's all about. He's got a quote here back when I think it was 10 hours from the September 11th attack, where they were asking him, did he believe Osama bin Laden was behind it? And he says, from a cave inside a mountain or a peasant's hovel? Let's be serious. Osama inspires countless millions by standing up for Islam against American and Israel imperialism. He doesn't have the means for such a sophisticated operation. Not only that, in the same article here, this is UPI.com. This is actually a source Wikipedia left.
No, I know Gul said that. And he pointed out they killed Benazir Bhutto and the rest of it. No, he's a super heavy hitter. That's why I wish
another thing, he said that Osama bin Laden's English was impeccable. I mean, he's been to universities and says he's impeccable, but yeah, he's got these CIA videos where we're being told what he's telling all of us and how.
Oh no, his CIA code name was Tim Osman. That's on record. No, it's all staged. The killing of bin Laden, it's all staged. It's all fake.
Okay, and another thing is, well, you know, just to also throw this in there, I did make the video, The Dark Tyrant Rises. I don't know if you actually, you know, got to see that or not, but for the Stop Dictator Obama contest, Akon for a while was my YouTube name.
Well, great job, bro. I'm gonna jump real quick to get one more person in. Thank you. Alexis in New York, first-time caller. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Hi. I recently came across a documentary by Aaron Russo. He used to be a famous director in the 90s. He died of, quote-unquote cancer.
Yes, America, Freedom to Fascism?
Yeah, and he couldn't find a law that requires the average American to pay an income tax. I heard you earlier talking about how they're targeting, certain groups on income taxes. Well,
no. The billionaires don't pay any taxes on average. I mean, it's all a giant scam. It's all a complete fraud.
Yeah, and I was wondering if maybe, you'd like to attend a protest that I'm trying to put together on the first weekend in August in D.C. To, protest against it because they need to stop. They can't keep doing this.
Well, ma'am, I hear you, and I appreciate your call. I probably won't be able to attend that, but I have been for 18 years exposing that the IRS is a collection agency for the private Federal Reserve and is designed to siphon off our money and bankrupt the country. Lindsay, last caller, real fast. Thanks for holding from Washington. Go ahead and take us out.
Hey, Alex, first-time caller, and I just wanted to let you know I'm completely savvy with what you have at risk, and I wanted to thank you very much. And what I wanted to talk to you about was the new Kinect for the Microsoft.
Yeah, that scans your whole house and watches you and tracks you, yeah.
Yeah, well, Dr. Ron Paul said he had concerns about Snowden getting hit with a cruise missile or a drone attack. This new Kinect, to me, looks like something where they could track you, and if they don't like what you say or deem you a threat to America, could use that as a drone strike against Americans.
Well, they don't have to do that. They just give you vaccines and you die anyways. Or you drink fluoride, you become mentally retarded. But no, I mean, the Kinect is an Imperial probe droid robot literally watching you in your house. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.